Hey guys, so I'm now in Germany, and I have behind the camera here, Vlad. This is the guy here.
Hello.
Hey guys, so I'm currently in Germany, and off camera over here is Vlad. Come in.
Hello.
So this is the guy who's done all the cool stuff with my cluster, as many of you have been asking me about how to get that all done, etc. This is the guy who deals with it. And today I'm going to install one of his projects on my car, which is this little guy. So the M113K has an oil level sensor, oil temperature sensor, but unfortunately no oil pressure sensor. So Vlad's written some software for the cluster, which will allow us to report digitally to the cluster oil pressure in real time. And to do that, we're going to put this on the front of the engine where there's an oil test port. So I guess we'll just get on with the installation and see how this goes, because we haven't done this before.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so the plan is we install this pressure sensor on the front of the engine. Then we have to run a wiring loom up through where the injectors are, join it to the main engine harness, run it all the way into the SAM bay where we put the little board, which is Vlad's little invention. And then that connects up to ignition power and also to CAN bus so that it can report to the cluster. And then we flash the cluster with Vlad's updated software for me so that it can read the data from this and display it on the cluster. So I guess now we just take the engine apart and we'll get on with it. Okay, so with all the panels and everything off the engine, our plan is, first of all, down here, there is a little oil port bolt. We're going to try and do it without taking this accessory belt off. Essentially, I've taken the lid off here, just so we've got a little bit more access, taken the compressor belt off, and the air intake system. And we're going to try and connect that sensor up down there. Then the wiring loom, we're going to run under the compressor here, join this wiring loom, bring it all the way to the back, and then feed it into the main one, which goes into there. So, I guess, Vlad, it's time that we try to take this bolt out without looking at it. What?
6 doesn't fit. So actually it's 5 then.
Okay, so we find 5.
It's down there.
Down where? Ah. 5.
Okay. So take this one. Oh, we don't have that much space in here, but let's see. Or is it 6?
Ah.
No, it's definitely not 5. It's very loose there.
Maybe it's just 6, maybe it's just some dirt.
Or maybe, yeah, it could be dirt, or maybe they put a Torx there. Let's actually make a picture first before we make it break.
Okay, pass. Let me try and get my phone camera down, then we'll take a picture.
Let me try again this one. You cut it, right? Of course not.
No, this is gonna be raw and unedited.
Yeah.
The struggle of trying to undo this bolt.
Oh, this one doesn't fit there.
Okay, we're taking a picture.
Ooh.
Okay, so flash on. Let's see. I just have to hope that I don't lose my phone down here. Hopefully I got it. Nope, completely the wrong. Ah! No.
No. No, it's not it.
Okay, so we have to go further this way then. I really do not want to lose my phone down the engine, but it must be done for science. Ooh. Would you say it's about here? Aha! I believe I have just taken a perfect picture of that bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh.
So look at that. It looks like it's completely mangled. So.
Well, we can take the whole cap out.
But then what do we do if we take the whole cap out? Then we still can't get that bolt on, and we don't have a cap.
Well, maybe it's actually Torx here. maybe not, but it shouldn't be Torx actually.
How about I just spray it with some brake cleaner, give it a little clean, and then we take another picture?
Yeah, put it, but not brake cleaner. Better some WD-40 like thing.
Okay, so now we're going to try and take the two bolts holding the cap on where the bolt is, and then we can maybe try and put the cap in a vise and undo it that way. The bolts holding the cap in seem to be not as tight, or not as seized, is a better term.
Okay, coming off.
Oh, that's good.
Easily.
That's good.
One. I think that's the right bolt. I guess I need some extension here. Well, actually, extension won't help that much because I don't have that much room here. So if you want to have this compressor engine, be prepared. Not much room is in here.
Well, I did sign that contract when I bought this car.
Absolutely. Okay, it goes. The second one.
Oh, perfect. So the cap's coming off, we can put it in a vise and then play with the cap that way, because you've got vise next door.
Yeah. You can prepare already some paper to clean the foil, which will come out of it.
So we were able to take this out. A little bit of mess on the floor, unfortunately. So we're going to try now and clean this up and take this bolt out from here. And then hopefully the new sensor can go in really easily. So let's clean it. So this is what it's come to. We put the socket in there. We've soaked this in power steering fluid to try and free the bolt up a little bit. And now we're going to try and undo it with a slightly bigger socket. Good luck. Jesus! Oh, happy days then.
Yeah. You see? It's completely rusted to this bolt, the copper washer.
Okay, so that means we can put the pressure sensor in now here, and then we can...
Now the question, how do we get this out?
That we can worry about later.
Well, we don't need it, right? Because your old pressure sensor is...
Oh, finally, the washer came off.
Huh?
The washer came off.
Oh, nice.
We could reuse that, right?
Yeah.
No, it's okay. We got a new one. Right, so that's lovely and clean now. But it really does look like it was pushed in, because like there's a lip now. If you feel where the washer is, there's a lip at the edge. So it looks like maybe it was pushed in with way too much
Someone
force.
torqued it without the spec, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. You see what I mean? About the little lip?
Yeah.
So do you want to get the new washer and the sensor?
Yeah.
And we try and put this in. Right, may I start this? We don't need any anti-seize or anything on that, do we?
No.
Okay. Okay. Actually, quick question. Do we want it this way round? Yeah. So this is vertical or horizontal.
Oh, not sure. Okay, should be fine.
Okay.
About 20 Newton meters.
Okay, then let's undo the holding bracket and put it back in the car. So we finished cleaning this up, and we've also cleaned the seal up. Now what's interesting is the seal is still very, very pliable. It's almost new. So we're going to reuse this and just hope that it works. And this pretty much proves that the old cap had been tightened down or something had been changed before the front of the engine. Because when I changed my water pump a year ago, I have a video on that, the seals around there were completely rock, and this one isn't. And so yeah, this is obviously new. So it goes in like that. And then we just put this on the front of the engine after Vlad's finished cleaning the bolts. Okay, so apologies about the change in audio quality, but my microphones have died. So put the car back together again, and I'll put a picture up as to show how much clearance that sensor has. But it's fairly tight, but also not too bad. The cable for it goes, we've run up behind the thermostat, behind the compressor, then up here, joins into this loom here, you can see it here. Then it connects at the back and then goes up into this rubber pipe, which goes into the sandbox, which was an absolute nightmare. Probably took us, what, like a whole hour to run that cable up through here. And we used lots of lube as well. And then we've also run a little ground strap from here into this connector which goes into the fuse box. So that's hopefully it. All we have to do now is to run a CAN wire from the inside of the car up to here, and then it can all join together with the connector and the ECU. So let's go run that. So, the car is completely back assembled again. We've now got Vlad's module in its box. Everything is wired in. What I like is that he's given me a little disconnect, so that if I need to pull the engine harness out, I can. We've run CAN B down to the CAN distributor in the driver's side footwell. And our plan is for now just to rest this in here like that, and the SAM module box can close. Now, that takes us to the last step of this procedure, which is to flash my cluster over there that Vlad's working on. And then that way we should get the display. We've already tested over CAN, which is one of my adapters over there that his unit is sending. So we just have to show it up on the display and that's it. Okay, and just like that, you can see now I've got oil pressure, temperature, and quantity on the top line. If I rev the engine a little bit, it does respond quite nicely. So I think that's it. One final thing left to clarify though is Vlad is really nice in that he came here to help me because we're friends, but in the event that you want this on your cluster or something, or you want this menu in general, you have to send your cluster to him because he has to modify the firmware of your current cluster with the mileage and everything intact. He can't just make you a new cluster. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm very happy with the results of today. It's taken us how many hours? Like 8-9 hours in total to do this whole job.
Yeah, I think like 6 hours actually.
Ah, 6 hours, okay.
Yeah.
And I guess all that's left is to go for a nice little drive and show Vlad my TCU now. So yeah, catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye.
That's how it is the car wire, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Hello, I'm Vlad.
We are mentally sane.
It's like, you know, it's like putting a pineapple on the pizza for Italians, yeah?
Are you okay?
No. Okay, now he's undoing this because it might be actually better now. Exactly. Yeah, just undo it. You don't need it. It's done a job as a guide. Aha! Oh.
Done, I think.
Really?
Almost.
Okay, that's good. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.